Welcome back to the channel, YouTube. Splitting Wigs back with another video, and all I'm going to ask is if you could please like the video. It is free, and it helps me out a lot. Anyway, my 5 best loadouts coming at you right now. Now, a lot has changed recently with this game. There's been a lot of nerfs, buffs, and updates to the game that really have changed the meta a lot, and it took a while for everything to kind of sort itself out, and we still have a really competitive meta right now where nothing is just super overpowered. The guns that are easy to shoot don't have a great TTK. The guns with a really good TTK are a little bit harder to shoot, so it's kind of like in a nice spot right now. But anyway, in these 5 classes, you know, my perks are a little bit different in each one. My lethal and tactical are a little bit different in each one. So that's kind of up to you for preference. I personally run what you're looking at right now, though, which is EOD, Overkill, and Amped. I'm still rocking those. I haven't fell for the new ones yet. Then I run Semtex and Heartbeat, but you'll see the ones that I run sometimes mixed in as I go through these. So I'm not going to go over that moving forward. I'm just going to go over the guns. Now, this first one might take you by surprise a little bit. It is the FARA 83, and yes, I do think that this is actually the #1 meta right now. Let me get myself moved here. Believe it or not, I've used this, and it is slightly a better TTK than the KRIG. But it's also super easy to shoot. It's not quite as easy to shoot as the brainless KRIG, but it's almost as easy to shoot, and the TTK is a little bit better. So when you come up against like a stoner, which I'll talk about later, or a sniper or something, this has that little bit more of a hit to it that you can win those gunfights. But, you know, it's got the standard build on it, the GRU suppressor, the Spetsnav 18.7, the actual arms 3x scope, the Spetsnaz speed grip, and then the Spetsnaz 60 round. And I'm telling you, build it this way, give it a try for a few rounds, warm up in some resurgence or something with it, and I'm telling you, you're going to love this thing. You will love this thing. And then for my secondary, this isn't quite my, you know, like only go-to, but, you know, this is a super good secondary, and you'll see I have a couple different secondaries mixed in here because that's the best thing right now is it's not crazy, nothing's crazy overpowered, but the OTS is amazing. So GRU suppressor, 8.1 task force, and I go with the skeletal stock because it just gives you that little bit of ADS firing movement speed and then regular movement speed, and your sprint to fire all go through the roof with that thing. And I'm telling you, with the Spetsnaz grip and the 40 round fast mag, this thing's a beast. This thing, you will like it. I like the way it handles and the way that it shoots when you're moving. Fantastic side arm. Now for my second meta, kind of similar, but there is actually, with this Modern Warfare MP5, guys, there's a little, since the last update, they did actually sneak a, I guess you would call it like a silent buff for that gun. But the C58 is a beast. I mean, it's kind of like the AMAX. It's a little bit harder to shoot. The time to kill is amazing, but the fire rate and the recoil is a little bit harder. However, this thing's amazing. If you're playing really good, by the way, you want to use this instead of the KRIG. When you're really on, you know, switch to something that has like a super fast TTK like this. Works great. This one, the same deal. Agency suppressor, 18.5 task force. Then I always go with the 3x scope. The 4x, guys, you can run it. If you prefer it, just run it. I mean, that's a personal preference thing. I just prefer the 3x scope. Then I run the field agent grip on this one and the 45 round drum on this one. I think that the 45 round is enough, and I don't like taking the hit on the negative sides of running the larger, you know, magazine. So, but you can play with that. If you're missing some shots, go ahead, feel free to put the 55 on it. Then, like I said, this MP5, guys, is just a bit broken. I mean, especially if you're playing solos and duos, but you can get away with it in trios. I've been using it in trios, and it's fine. But you use the monolithic integral suppressor, the Commando foregrip, and then this is where the glitch is right now in the Matrix. This 10mm 30 round mag, they buffed this a little bit again like it used to be, and this thing does crazy up close damage now. I'm telling you, you will not lose the first gunfight with this gun. You won't. If you're hitting your shots, you aren't going to lose your first gunfight. Now the problem is the second and especially the third gunfight, it depends on how many bullets you have left, but this thing's a beast. Now, the rest of the build is kind of up to you. You know, I go rubberized and sleight of hand because of that 30 round mag. You can reload real fast with this. And then the rubberized helps with a little bit longer engagements because it knocks down the recoil a little bit. But if you're on mouse and keyboard, guys, you can go and opt for the Merc foregrip for that hip fire. And then you can also go with the 5 milliwatt laser. and replace that with the rubberized grip, because you're going to be hip firing this thing if you're on mouse and keyboard. So this is like a mouse and keyboard build, and then the other one I just did would be like a controller build. You know, and then here is obviously, you know, maybe a late game Ghost, or you can just put the KRIG with one of your other sidearms in this build. But especially if you're just warming up and you haven't played in a while, use the KRIG, no big deal. But this thing is built like this, is absolutely mindless. You don't have to worry about recoil at all. There's zero recoil. Agency suppressor, mil-spec 15-inch barrel, 3 times the 60 round, regular 60 round, and then the field agent grip, guys. You don't even have to even pull down on the mouse or pull down on your controller. It just aim it and pull the trigger. There's no recoil. Just stay on target. You don't have to worry about the recoil. Like I said, this is like my Ghost class. You can set this up however you want and just have the KRIG as your primary, and then put whatever secondary you want with it. Then here at the end, I was gonna put in the new Season 5 gun. That AR, is it the EM2? Yeah, the EM2 is really good, built outright. I didn't get it fully unlocked yet, if I'm honest. That's why I didn't put it here yet. But for Meta 5, there's nothing wrong with throwing in a good old Kar 98. I mean, you can go with the Swiss if you want. I still prefer the Kar 98. And then this is a great secondary, guys. I mean, you might lose some gunfights up close, maybe to like the Mac or to that MP5 build, but this with the bullets that it has in the magazine set up like this, you absolutely run like a crackhead around the map with this. I mean, the mounted flashlight, the stock, and the speed grip, guys, you run like the wind with this thing, which is why I love it. And then on top of that, the regular, you don't have to waste an attachment on the ammunition because it has such a big magazine right out of the gate, guys. So then you just go GRU, Task Force, and this thing, it is so accurate too. Like, this is a phenomenal gun. However, up real close, it will lose to, you know, the Mac, the OTS, and then that MP5 setup the way it is. So it does have a little bit slower TTK up close, but it's worth the trade-off, especially if you're using it for sniper support like this. But anyway, guys, hope you got something out of the video. If you did, please subscribe and like. Catch you on the next one.